I go through things just like you. You go through things just like me, right? Maybe what we go through are different, but the fact of the matter is we all go through things. And listen, this is on a side note. Like I'm gonna come back to the message, but this is on the side note. If we had that understanding as humans that we all go through different things, just imagine the respect level we have for each other. Right, we wouldn't be fighting over who chooses what to do with their life and who chooses what to do with their family and who does this and who does right. We live in a world where everybody wants to be right, that we get it wrong so much. And I 100% advocate for people living their truth, for people being right. And I tell people all the time, you are right, but don't try to put your right on me. Right? That is your truth, but your truth doesn't have to be my truth. And if we got to a place in this world where we understood that, things would change. Things would absolutely change. If we got to a place where we stop being selfish and everybody wants to have opinions, everybody wants to say this, and I respect everybody's perspective. But we live in a world where we're always trying to prove other people wrong. What if you put that same energy to your own life? Okay, I'm about to switch messages right now. So this is a whole different message right now. It just came to my heart, and I just want to say this because it's been on my mind, it's been on my heart. And if I offend anybody, I'm not trying to. Y'all know my heart. But I just want to ask you this question. What if you put that same energy that you put into tearing people down, that you put into talking about people, that you put into making people feel bad? And if this message is not for you, it's not for you. But y'all know the people that I'm talking about, the Karens of the world. If there's Karens on here, I'm not talking about you, Karen. But y'all know, right? All those people, right? We know, right? The people that when I got some other names I could call, but I'm not going to say it. But we'll just use Karen since that's the popular term today. Right? But what if you took that same energy that you use to put on other people, not in a positive way, but to make them feel guilty for what they choose and what they choose to do with their life? Their life, not yours. They life. You ain't got to answer for them. You got to answer for your life. And we live in a society where we forget that everybody has a different perspective. We forget that everybody's went through something. I see people all the time sitting here judging a person because of where they at in their life, and you have no damn idea where that person came from. But you judging where they at and saying, man, you know, look at that person, all that stuff. And you worry about their life. I pray, and quote me on this. I pray my life never gets to a point where focus on somebody else's business becomes more important than mine and my own. I'm going to say that again. I pray, Lord, I pray that somebody else's life, right? Focus on somebody else's life never becomes more important than mine and my own business. It don't mean we don't help people. It don't mean we don't share things to people. But I'm tired and sick and tired of seeing the judgment on people, man. You don't know what that person has been through. You don't know what that person is battling. You don't know what the thoughts that are going on in here. And we sit here and we try to tear people down for that. So not another day of that. So if you're that person on here, not another day of that. Not another day of you trying to put you on somebody else. Because it's not fair, because you wouldn't want that. You be the first one offended when somebody try to tell you that. But you're doing that to other people. You know, that's the world that we live in. That's the world that we live in. We live in a world where if something is different, somebody has a different view, opinion, we criticize them, we tear them down. Not knowing what they've been through, where they came from, their experience in their life. But we will sit there and we will tear them down because it's different than our life. Like we got it right. It's your right. Who says it is right? We all are living in perspective. Every single one of us. There's a message tonight that I spoke about. Some people be like, that's totally wrong, Trent. It's right for me. It might be wrong for them, and I respect that. But it's right for me. And so I just want you to think about that, because I'm very conscious of that myself. And we would live in a much better society if people understood that. Like you look on social media now, all you see is people arguing about some stuff they can't control. All you see is people being experts on things that they ain't experts at. That's all you see. And it's been going on since the beginning of time. That's all you see. People giving their 2 cents when ain't nobody asked them for it. And if we took that same energy and put that into things that we can control. Oh man. All right. If we took that same energy that we try to tear somebody else down and put that same energy into building our kids up, into being around our kids, putting love into our kids, some of us in this world, and this is not nobody on this live because I know all of y'all are awesome people, but some people in this world, you know what's crazy is that they literally give so much hate in this world and they don't give love to the ones that love them. They don't give love to their kids, but they give so much hate to other people. Take that same energy that you're using for hate, take that love and put it into something that you can control. Right? Put it into something that you can control, that you can make the difference in. Instead of sitting here debating on stuff. I'm not saying you can't debate. I'm not saying you can't have a perspective, right? But my point in saying all this is that use the energy in things you can control. Spend time on doing that. Spend time on making this world a better place. And maybe that's your view of making it a better place. I respect it. But I just wish we had more empathy in this world for that. So if you're a person on here, you probably got off because I made you mad. But if you're a person on here and you're still on here and it's touching your soul, I'm not attacking you. But please make it not another day of that. Not another day. It's okay to be different. It's okay to have different views. That's what makes up this world. It's okay. It's okay because everybody's wired different. Everybody's brain is different. So I just wanted to, that's just like a remix in today's message. I just wanted to put that out there because it's been on my mind for a while, and I just want to put that out there. But back to the message, because I know some new people have now joined in. Thank you. Let me know where you're from. I'm gonna get in the comments and all of that stuff, man. But that's today's message, man, is not another day. And those words to me really really changed my life. You know, we think life changing and stuff is supposed to be some grand thing, but it was literally those words that changed my life. Literally, those words that changed my life. I said, not another day. And I can pinpoint this to recently. I can pinpoint this to 10 years ago, 12 years ago when I started rehab time. I told myself, man, not another day. Because I knew exactly if I continued, to live those days, where that was going to lead to. I know my heart is feeling for some people on here tonight, because I know there's a person on here right now watching, and I don't know personally, but I just know it's in my heart that you've been fighting for days. You've been fighting just to make it another day. You've been fighting, you know, for your respect. You've been fighting for your peace. And I want to tell you this. And I just hope this message, man, was that message for you to be the disruptor. And you repeating another day, because the truth of the matter is, some of us can't afford to make it another day. And what I mean by that, some of us can't afford to stay in that another day. Some of us can't afford to continue to do that another day. Some of us can't afford to continue to think and be involved in that another day. So tonight is the night that you say not another day, and you mean it. Because you can't afford to keep playing with your life. And when I say playing with your life, don't take that out of context. But you can't afford it. And I just hope that your heart is softened from all the things that's hard in your heart. Because I know when you're going through your hardest times in life, even the best messages, even the kindest words, they don't pierce through, because all you see is all that you feel. All you understand is all that you feel. And so I just pray, man, that ice that's made your heart cold, I pray that this fire message tonight melted that ice. And I pray that you feel, even if it's just an inkling of peace, an inkling of hope, faith, I pray that you feel that. And I pray that you know there's more to your life than what you're currently going through. There is. And I know that sounds stupid as hell. I'm sorry to use those words, but I'm being real with y'all in here tonight. I told you, if you don't want the truth, don't come on here. I know it sounds stupid as hell to hear that, especially when you're going through that. How do I know? Because I've been there. But I just want you to promise yourself and promise me, right? You on here, so maybe promising me will help a bit, but it's more about promising yourself. That you're just going to spend time on things that bring what you need to your life. So for everybody going through a moment, going through a season, this is some tactical stuff that please apply to your life. If you can spend 75% of your time every single day on what you need. So if you need healing, spend 75% of your time listening to messages, praying, meditating, right? Get into a small group. Spend time on that. Spend 45 minutes, 30 minutes, 60 minutes on that. Can you do that for me? Spend 60 minutes, 45 minutes, 30 minutes of walking. Just walking. And just saying thank you. You might say, thank you for what, Trent? Thank you because if you understood how everything was built in your life, you would be saying thank you too. You will be saying thank you too. And I see people comment on here and, putting out their frustrations and pain. I see Miss Jones or Mr. Jones on here, all those things that you went through. I get it. Yeah, I probably ain't been through all of that. But my struggle's been my struggle and so is yours. And everybody's struggle is different. Everybody handles pain different. But I want to tell you this. I know there's more to your life. I know your life ain't over. I know it sucks to lose people. I know it sucks to lose things. But at the end of the day, those things cannot break you without your permission. And that's what the enemy wants you to think. The enemy wants you to stay there and say, oh, my life is done. My life is over because I lost everything I cared about. And I feel you with that. I'm not trying to attack you. I'm just trying to help you, because if you stay in that same thing and, oh, you ain't lost this, you ain't lost that, you ain't lost this, you ain't lost that, you stay there, it's going to give you a reason to keep your life there. And I can promise you keep your life there, nothing's going to change in your life. So no, I haven't lost all of that, but I lost a lot in my life for me. Just like everybody else in here has lost something in their life. I don't care if it's their dog. Nobody knows how much their dog meant to them. I know people who literally depressed for years because they lost a dog, right? I know if I lost my dog, I would be depressed. The point I'm trying to make in everything is that things cannot continue to break you if you allow it. If you just change your perspective and you say, you know what, not another day, doesn't mean it's going to be easy. It don't mean you're going to be pain-free. It don't mean that you're going to be stress-free. It don't mean you're going to ain't going to have your bad days. This ain't no perfection talk. You want perfection talk, go on somebody else's life. Go to a motivational speaker. I ain't no motivational speaker. That's facts. I'm speaking that real to you. That real to you. You're going to still have your storms in life. But you know what? Just because it rains don't mean that you can't still produce rainbows. There's no rain without the rainbow. Don't y'all realize that? There's no growth without storms. Don't y'all realize that? So I want you to understand that with your life. Understand that with your life. We all in this fight. And some of us been getting our ASS kicked for a lot of rounds. We all been there. Blow after blow after blow after blow. But you still standing. You here. You still fighting. And you think about how weak you are. To me, that's showing how strong you are. And you ain't realize that. You ain't realize that. You ain't realize how strong you are because you thinking that you weak because you got knocked down. Not realizing that you strong because you got knocked down and you found the courage, you found the grit, you found the determination to get back up. You're going to have worry in your life. I seen the comment with that. Worry's going to be there. But every time you worry, you got to remind. That's why it's, man. All right. Y'all about to get some T. Shelly today, man. You're going to have all these things in your life, y'all. That's why it's important to say not another day. That's why it's important to spend time with your truth. That's why it's important to strengthen your life. That's why it's important to all those things. Because when those things show up, because they will, right? They will. It will. When it shows up, when doubt shows up, when fear shows up, when worry shows up, guess what? Your faith's going to show up too. Guess what? Your strength is going to show up too. Guess what? Your courage is going to show up too. And you're going to find a way to keep fighting. And keep fighting don't mean that you knocking stuff out. Don't mean you conquering through life. Sometimes we have our seasons. Sometimes keep fighting is, you know what? Not quitting. Sometimes that's what it is. But you got a victorious God on your side, man. Like, you got God on your side. Like, God got you. And some of us, we turned our back on God because we feel like God ain't rewarded us. We feel like God is punishing us. God is hating us because we judging the love God has for us based upon our circumstances. Can I preach to y'all for a minute? We basing the love God has for us based upon our circumstances. If God loved me, why would this happen? If God loved me, why would I go through this? How do I know? Because I question God. Can I be real with y'all? Or y'all want me to be some motivational speaker that don't tell y'all that real? Now, I'm not saying motivational speakers don't say that real, but a lot of people online, they ain't going to tell you that real. They ain't going to tell you that. They want to make you think that they have it all together so they can influence you more. Not me. You don't think I was questioning God a few months ago? You don't think that I was angry a few months ago? Yeah, somebody whose faith is strong. But you know what? I was basing God's love for me based upon my damn circumstances. And that's the mistake that we make. Because we base God's love for us based upon our circumstances, and we don't understand what God is actually doing for our life. We don't understand it. Because what God is doing for our life and how much he helps our life, we will never be able to fathom it because it's not just based upon our circumstances. God loves you because you're his. And I want you to understand that, man. In your darkest moment, trust God even when it's hard to. Trust God even when you don't understand it. Trust God even when it don't make sense. It don't. Because to be honest, some things we will never understand. It don't make sense that my mom died from cancer. It don't. There's no way nothing could make that make sense to me, ever. Nothing in this world. Somebody can say all the right things. It don't make sense. It don't make sense to see my mom suffer like she suffered. It didn't make sense. It will never make sense to me. But instead of trying to make it make sense, I give it to God. I let go and I give it to God. When I don't understand it, I let go and I give it to God. When I can't control it, I let go and I give it to God. When it don't make sense, I let go and I give it to God. When it's breaking me down, I let go and I give it to God. See, a lot of us, we are weak because we hold on to things that we are meant to give to God. We're holding on to struggle in our life that we're meant to give it to God, and we're trying to do it ourselves. And yes, there is a part that you have to take action in your life like we talked about. But there's also a major part where faith kicks in, where you have to understand and give it to God and say, you know what? I don't understand what you are doing. God will allow you to go through places you don't understand just to bring you to a place where he needs you to be. How do you know that, Trent? Because I'm a living proof. You need an example? Look at my story. Look at my life. I wasn't supposed to be whatever y'all want to call me, speaker, influencer, whatever. I wasn't supposed to do this. I'm not qualified for this. But I wanted to share that, man, because I didn't understand that. I didn't understand why my baby girl 2 days, I don't want to go through that whole story. Y'all know that story. I didn't understand it. I didn't understand it why. I didn't understand the season of loss after loss after loss after loss after loss. Why? Why? I didn't understand it. And I had a choice. I had a choice like we all do. I can either allow that to make me angry at God, to curse God, to let it weaken my relationship with God, or I can say, you know what? I need to move closer to God. I need to move closer to him. Because it's these moments where I need him to carry me instead of me trying to carry my own burdens and trying to carry my own self. Let go and give it to God. Some things ain't gonna never make sense. Some things you ain't gonna ever understand. But I will say this, there is a part in life I believe you have to take responsibility. Some of us, we in situations that's toxic and we gave it to God. We prayed about it. But God has showed you and revealed to you that this ain't what it is for your life. God is giving you signs, and we keep on praying for signs, but God has showed you over and over and over and over again, has allowed you to see it. We got to do our part to remove ourselves from certain situations. I've seen people lose a relationship that makes them lose their relationship with God. I've seen it. I've seen imperfections in people keep us from the perfection of God. I've seen it. I've experienced it. But when I decided to say, not another day of me losing my faith, not another day of being angry at God, I'm just being real with y'all how I felt. Like, I'm just being honest. Y'all can whatever. I don't care. Like, I'm just being open. That's all I know how to be. Not another day of me being depressed. Not another day of none of that stuff. And I went by that and I stood by that. And it gave me the strength. And I can tell you, look in my eyes when I say this. Look in my eyes when I say this. I don't understand what's going on in, everybody politics, right? So let me be careful. But I don't understand what's going on in Afghanistan. I don't understand it. Why? Like, why does that have to happen to people? Like, there's kids out there, like, there's just innocent kids. Why? I don't understand it. I don't, but I also know that there's evil in this world. If everything was perfect, why would we need God? I'm not trying to preach to y'all today. I'm just trying to put some sense in how I'm thinking. But I can tell you this, and prayers for everybody, man. And it makes you realize how good you got it. Think about that for a second. Just think about that for a second. What's going on across the pond? Think about that for a second. Think about that for a second. Don't it make your problem seem a little bit smaller? Right? Just a little bit. Those major problems, just a little bit smaller. I know I was thinking I was having some issues today, so I saw a post and I saw people hanging off a plane and I couldn't even watch the rest. And I said, man, what am I complaining about? But I want to say this. When I said not another day, and I made that decision, piece by piece by piece by piece by piece, I started to see the strength in everything that I went through. See, unfortunately, we got to go through things, man, to get stronger. I was working out this morning. I was like, man, I wish I could just get strong without lifting weights. How many of us would love that, right? Just like getting in shape without having to lift weights and run. I wish we had like a magic pill, right, to do that. But I always believe that you got to go through it to get to it. Thank you for the stars, Jeanette. We are almost there, guys. And one of the things I'm going to do once we reach 100,000, I'm going to probably do anyway, is I'm going to release this shirt because I know a lot of y'all want it. And this shirt says, Watcher, Wisher, Worker. And what this means for some of y'all don't know, there's 3 types of people in this world. And I know I'm giving y'all a lot of messages tonight, but I want to talk about this because there's people in this world that just watch, right? They sit on the stands and they just watch. They're not active. They're inactive. They're not active in their game of life. And they just watch. They're not active in their faith. They're not active in their courage. They just watch. They just watch. And unfortunately, we live in a society right now that has programmed us to just watch. They just watch. Sitting on the sideline, just watching other people live their life. So many people are that. Then there's the wisher. There's a person that has all the great intentions in the world and they just wish things would change. They just wish things would change, right? They wish and they wish and they wish. Oh, man, I wish things were different. Oh, I wish I was better. Oh, I wish I had this. I wish. And that's all they do is they wish. They're professional wishers. But then there's you. How do I know? Because you're here tonight. The worker. The person that puts in the work. Puts in the work. That does the dark work. The work that nobody sees, that people don't pat you on the back for, people don't like your post for, people don't applaud you for. But you put in that work to make whatever it is better, stronger. You grow whatever. And so this is what this stands for me. And I'm telling people, do not get this shirt if you ain't trying to be a worker. I don't even want to release this shirt. I actually want to gift it to people that I know are actually doing the work because I don't want people to represent this shirt that don't want to do the work. And so whatever it is, man, you got to do the work. And the crazy thing about it is the watcher watches the person work. The wisher wishes they could be the person that works. And the worker, obviously, the one who puts in the work.